Hare Krishna. Sacinandana Maharaj doesn't need any introduction. Everybody knows Sacinandana Maharaj all over the three worlds. And he's my very old friend, and he considers himself to be my younger brother.
Yes, the uncivilized younger brother.
So we are very happy to have Sacinandana Maharaj here. He was in New Vrindavan. He gave a seminar on the holy name, the importance of holy name and how to develop attachment to the holy name. And he is on his way to Alachua. This weekend he will give a seminar there also. And Maharaj was telling me that the seminar in New Vrindavan was very well attended, and it was very successful in the sense many devotees, by Maharaj's inspiration, became fixed up in their attachment to the holy name. And I'm sure he's going to do the same thing in Alachua to many, many fortunate souls. And we are also very fortunate to have Sacinandana Maharaj here today. Thank you, Maharaj, for coming. Thank you for taking the time to come here, in spite of your very busy schedule. Please say, enlighten them, enlighten us.
Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namo Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Charini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Bhaskatyade Sadhani Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Thank you very much. Yes, His Holiness Bhakti Charu Maharaj and myself, we really were bound by ropes of affection together. Maharaj had studied, I think, physics in Germany, or chemistry, and had learned the German language and had some experience of the country. And then when he found out that I'm from Germany, or then he surprised me. I remember in the long building in the Mayapur temple by addressing me in perfect aristocratic German. I thought it's a jet lag which I had, which gave this birth to this illusion. But then we talked and we felt what I think some devotees, what we all feel when when we see there's a like-minded person, we open up more, we are more inspired to share, and as a result, I invited Maharaj to come, or he, yes, I think it was like this, for a preaching tour, and we made...
Due to your invitation.
Well, I think it was like this. It was like this. Yeah, I said, let us preach together in Germany, and we did a tour, and I noticed very quickly how Maharaj won the audience with his attractive Krishna consciousness. A sadhu, when a sadhu speaks, then people can feel their hearts are touched and they wish to go deeper into Krishna consciousness. In other words, his tours were always very successful. They planted the seed of Krishna consciousness in many hearts. At that time he spoke in English and I translated into German, and he often corrected my German. I remember. And again I was thinking, wow. And we had many preaching programs, including one very prestigious one at the, once a year, the Kirchentag, the evangelical or Protestantic church meets, and then Maharaj was lecturing this time in German, and it was a very complex subject. I remember the evolution of consciousness was one of the subjects, how we come from the shrunken state of consciousness eventually to the fully blossomed state of Krishna, of consciousness, where we feel love for Krishna. And he charmed one very nice professor, Professor Weber, and you might like to know, he has somehow in his old age become extremely attracted to the chanting of the holy name.
Because of you.
I think you were putting the seed, but he's really, he compares, he says this, what strikes him so much is that the chanting of the holy name, or in the chanting of the holy name, we can meet God despite our qualifications or disqualifications. That Chaitanya Mahaprabhu made this available to everyone, and when we chant, we are, in his words, in paradise, because in paradise we meet God, but here on this earth, when we chant, we also meet God, so we are in paradise when we chant. That's his conviction, and he has written articles about it, and it's when such a professor who is so well known takes to the endorses the practice of Krishna consciousness.
How old is he now?
He is now 73 or 74, something like that, yes.
I remember his daughter, Steffi, right?
Steffi, exactly. And if you don't mind, we could just record a voice message and a video message maybe of you, and I can show this to him when I see him at the Kirtan Mela. He comes to the Kirtan Mela, he sits there with his face, it looks as if it is carved from stone, so, but there's good feelings behind it. So we did preaching tours, many preaching tours, also into Australia, Austria, and Switzerland, and soon Maharaj went regularly to Switzerland to preach there. I was not always there, but many times we were there, and in this way, and we went to Sweden, we remember we greeted Tamakrishna Maharaj in Heidelberg, and you cooked for all of us God brothers. There was a choice between Italian style or Chinese style, and we first tried the Italian style from Bhakti Charu Maharaj, and Tamakrishna Maharaj is a man of high aesthetic values. Where something is not right, he will let you know. He was totally overwhelmed, and then so that the next day we requested Chinese style, and there was Chinese noodles and vegetable inside it. I remember it as if it was yesterday. Now please mind you, it was not about food, it was about sharing love. No? That's the idea when Maharaj cooks. He knows many recipes. His most amazing recipe is monk's delight. You have tasted? I must honestly admit I expected something else. It was rather simple. The monk's delight, I expected fireworks of tastes, but it was a sattvic presentation because a monk likes it in a sattvic style. I remember. So in this way we also had many confidential talks, talks I think which every one of us needs. Talks where you sit with someone who's close, where you are talking about your confidential questions and confidential doubts even, or subjects. We had such talks where we closed the door and then mainly I was asking questions and Maharaj was answering from his wealth of experience and knowledge. And something I never ever forget, Maharaj introduced me and then the devotees to this most fascinating narrative of the spiritual quest. It's Gopkumar's journey. Later it was translated and I see the volumes of Brihad Bhagavatamrita there, but it was really out in the, we had never heard about this work from Sanatana Goswami, and he gave lectures twice on 2 of his visits. That's what I remember, maybe more, but and I was the translator, and I was very spiritually enriched, deeply enriched by this. I mean, my attraction to Krishna and became very more solid when as I tried to see the Lord through the eyes of Gopkumar and the eyes of the Shastra, and that was a very great gift spiritually. So that is about our, as you can see, where is the beginning of a relationship and where the end? It's unlimited. I could talk really much more, but I will say only this much. And when Maharaj requested me if we can meet, I was not considering it something that I would go out of my way or sacrifice time. No. It was the greatest honor and the greatest experience. Krishna, who's something like a little child of Maharaj, he arranged very quickly with the email, everything. We got to communicate, and now we are here. It's not at all. It's a great honor for me, a great pleasure, because when you die, you will look back, and there will be a few questions which you will have to answer. And one is, how steady were you in your important relationships with Vaishnavas? No? So Maharaj caught me and brought, in the sense of lovingly and affectionately brought me to this. Maharaj requested me to say something to enlighten you. I'm when I speak before my older brother, and I know well my uncivilized background from non-Vedic background, and my unfortunate German genes are also not very, they are a little embarrassing, but I have learned to live with this. He said I should enlighten you. I wanted to share a story with, about Srila Prabhupada, knowing how Maharaj likes Srila Prabhupada. I hope to give pleasure to his heart. It's a story I heard just yesterday. There was a TV set in the Prabhupada's palace in West Virginia, and I had just been in the darshan room and chanted for quite some time in the presence of Prabhupada's Murti, and I had come out and there was a tape record, something running, how do you call it, a video and some memory, and I had time. Yesterday was not so, I only had to write and do my correspondence and write on my books. I was flexible in my time. I said, let me stand, and whatever comes, I feel it is Prabhupada's gift to me. So the devotee who spoke, I don't know the name, said that he was there when Prabhupada once talked to a French female journalist. He wanted to explain how Srila Prabhupada, as a representative of Krishna, can understand just what a conditioned soul needs to know to move on in his or her spiritual journey. So Prabhupada talked to this well-educated French journalist, and now he never talked about Krishna's pastimes to journalists. He usually had subjects like this movement, the basic understandings of how we are different from the material body, and how this is a movement of the soul, and how by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra we are all elevated, etc., etc. But this time he talked about Krishna's pastime. He said there was this demon, Bomasura, who had kidnapped 16,000 princesses. He was a nuisance to the world, this Bomasura, and Krishna came and killed him. And after he had killed their husbands, these 60,000 princesses were widows. No one would take them. And they all came en masse, all together, before Krishna and said, please accept us as your wives. Now imagine 16,000 people. That's you can't see the end of it. If they would appear here, 16,000 people, that's a lot. And women at that time were thinking, oh, one man, 16,000? This is not equal rights, But Prabhupada was telling this Leela, and then he said how how Krishna, who saw these, they had no other shelter than him. No one would even, they would consider them, the society would consider them either as inauspicious or as touched by a demon, or, But Krishna, then Prabhupada said, come on, in a very encouraging way. And at that moment, this devotee looked at the French journalist, the French woman, and knowing well all their problems, the cultural problems with, but her face lit up the way only a person's face lit up who knows hardship, who knows rejection, who knows abuse, who knows all these things. And she felt Krishna accepted these ladies. And so many of them he could somehow do it. He's God. And her faith in Krishna was born. normally you don't do this. It can go entirely the other way. That the women goes like, wah, 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 wah. This is not equal rights, and no. Here, because Prabhupada knew this is what this person needs. Maybe she was just left by her husband, or maybe she had bad experiences. She needed to know the merciful, unconditioned acceptance of the Lord, and in this way her faith would increase. He knew that, and this, my god brother who was there, said, it showed me how Srila Prabhupada is able to look into the heart of a conditioned soul, and how out of his mercy he gives them just what they need at that particular time. I like that very much. I wanted to share it because I know Bhakti Charu Maharaj would be maybe happy to hear this. A second thing I wanted to just say, do you know about the power of this month? I think we just saw in Europe the power of spring, when Krishna enters nature and he says, I'm that spring, the flower-bearing spring, Margashirsha. But this month, which we have entered today, according to the calendar by which I go, there are always different pundits say different things, but that's what I know, is the month of, is the extra month, Purushottam. And it is said that this month was very helpless. It came out of it comes only every 3 years, and it is out of the normal order of months, and everyone rejected this month, calling it the Mala Mas. Mala Mas means the stool month. It's rejected like human waste. And this month cried and cried and cried, went to Vishnu and fainted from crying. And Vishnu said to Garuda, this poor being, help him. And Garuda flapped his wings and brought this month back to life. And Vishnu said, why do you cry so much? The month said, I have nowhere to go. I'm rejected wherever I appear. Can you please help me? Vishnu said, not me. I can't help you in this case. We must go to Krishna. And brought her to Krishna. And because she had no other shelter, she surrendered entirely. And Krishna accepted the month. He said, I give this month my name, Purushottam. I will invest in this month my own potencies and strengths. And anyone who follows this month and observes the month, he will have a blissful life in this world. All obstacles will go, and at the end he goes to Goloka Vrindavan. So you might now say, if you're not already getting bored of me and think, when does he finish finally? You might ask yourself the question, how do I observe this month? It's very interesting when you look into, there are 3 minimal observances which the Lord gives. It's all from Padma Purana, it's a Vaishnava Purana. We should take a sacred bath, holy bath. We should chant the Lord's holy name, and we should give charity. These are the minimal observances. Do you remember? No, some of you are sleeping. Yeah. It's normal in our society to sleep. There's lectures going on. You're absolutely in tune with ISKCON. Don't worry. What should we do?
Three things.
Three things.
First,
yes.
sacred bath. Second, extra chanting. And third, if we can manage to give some charity or collect.
Wonderful. You are a true Brahmana. Yes, let us look at this. It should say good bath. What I do is I take some Ganga drops on my head, but if you have no excess, you can chant while you take your bath and say, "My Lord, I'm bathing this useless body for your service." Chanting, you can maybe see that the quality of your chanting, you're already chanting 16 rounds minimum, that the quality becomes attentive rounds. No? And charity, yeah, there are different types of charity. One is giving knowledge, that's the highest form of charity, and other charities are to extend kindness and help and so on. I know we are poor people, we have no money, no problem. Of course you can do other things, but that I will not speak about, because that I'm sure Maharaj guides you. But I would say I'm very grateful that today on Purushottam, the beginning of Purushottam month, I'm here with all of you. It is really auspicious. I'm taking a bath in your sacred, in Maharaj's sacred association first of all, then you who are his extensions. And I'm sure we will again get some monk's delight or something which is delightful. And I'm looking forward to our discussions and our discussion. I wish you all the best. You are pioneers. Pioneer work is not always easy, because you have to make something, you establish something, a holy place where there was before a Christian youth camp with all kinds of what young people do, sinful activities. And it's I heard only 3 months ago you moved in here.
I came about in March, April, so about 2 months ago.
2 months.
And but they had been here since November, right?
Yeah.
So few of them, just a handful of them, they had been here. And we didn't start anything at that time because I was so busy with the GBC meeting and thing. So I just, right after the GBC meeting, I came over.
Yeah, you were that past year the GBC chairman, I understand. Yeah.
And the pioneers were actually Rasana. No, keep that. They can hear me. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
So keep the mic with Maharaj. Rasananda.
Rasananda, the hard-working Rasananda.
Then Krishna Kishore.
Who is Krishna? Yeah, Krishna Kishore.
That's Krishna Kishore. And Radha Radhi is not here. And Somya Radhika.
Somya Radhika.
Yes. And Archana, Archana, So I was about to say Somya Radhika. And Archana joined little later though. But they four of them had been holding the fort here. And it was, as you said, like pioneering phase is a very difficult phase. And but they seemed to be happy. They were quite shocked when they came. You can't imagine what the place was like.
Alligators are here? Huh? Wild animals?
Alligators are there. So I saw their face, and I gave them an option. Either you commit or you quit. And they did commit, you know, like good boys.
Thank you very much.
So, yeah, they're doing very well. And Dina Krishna is from London.
I have seen Dina Krishna, yes,
Yeah.
small baby.
Yeah, right. And Manmathananda and his family are visiting from Houston.
Oh yeah.
They just came. And talking about charity, Manmathananda gave a donation of $5,000 today.
Wow. This is very good. You will, this is a good observance of Purushottam.
Yeah. So, yeah, they're doing very well. And Archana, she had been around for quite some time. And she joined in France, actually, Paris. But you've never been to Germany. But you must have met Sacinandana many times. And Neha is from India. She's an architect.
Oh yeah.
And then she is, helping us, making master plan.
Oh yeah.
She's just staying here, and her husband is in India. There, he is giving the support from that side, and she is figuring things out from this end. And Kara is just joined very recently. She is from New Orleans, and I was in New Orleans, and I brought her here. She was about to join, so I told her, why don't you come and give it a try and see how it's like. And so how do you like it?
Very much.
Okay. From your surname, it seems that you're from your family is from Germany, yeah?
It is an illusion.
Huh?
It is an illusion.
Yeah.
Most of my family is from France.
Oh,
The
okay.
name was changed, the surname was changed, as my grandfather, just my great-grandfather, did not appreciate, I guess, what happened with the war, and so he changed his name when he came. Very recently, I'm only third generation here in
Okay.
America.
So yours is what, Man?
It's Giller
Your
Man.
surname?
Gillerman.
Giller?
Yeah, with man at the end, but
Okay,
it's
yeah.
actually Gillerman.
So that sounds German. So, please continue, Maharaj.
No.
And this is Vaikuntha Prabhu, just arrived.
He
He came from Alachua. He lives in Alachua.
Oh, yeah.
Half the time in Alachua, half the time in India.
It has really a great charm, this, because it is it's remote in a sense. It's accessible, but
Yes.
once you get off the main street, it is you're entering a different universe. it
Right.
seems.
Maharaj was remembering that, or rather reminding me, that this place is very much like our farm in Sweden, called Omväxtgård.
Yeah.
They have lakes, and like sometimes we used to go for a swim. Even early in the mornings, at 3 o'clock in the morning, it's like broad daylight in summer in Sweden. In summer, midsummer, the sun doesn't set in Sweden. At 12 o'clock, it's like this. Maharaj was telling me about many exciting experiences in Germany while we were preaching. Like few things that I was remembering. One was we'd drive those days from one place to another. And sometimes we'd just find a nice location in the middle of nowhere. And then we'd spread our blankets and have breakfast or lunch, real picnic. And one time we were driving, where was it from? Anyway, we are going to a Sunday feast lecture to, I think, Heidelberg. On the way, our car broke down. You remember that?
Yeah.
And and I repaired the car.
Extremely skillful. I still remember, indeed we were on our way to Heidelberg, and it happened near Pforzheim.
Pforzheim.
Yeah. You know,
The silencer.
yeah, the silencer. It was really the exhaustion fume broke where the silencer was, and it sounded as if a tank in the midst of war was attacking, and there was so much fume that it was not possible to continue the journey. It was, we were, you know, that if you breathe, it's not so. And plus, the police will stop you. It's not a functioning car. Then we went off the Autobahn to a gas station, which also had.
It was closed. Because of Sunday.
Yeah, it was closed. It was Sunday feast, and it had next to it a hydraulic something which would, you know, this
Hydraulic jack.
yeah, hijack. But and Maharaj says, let's drive the car there. Maharaji, this is not India. No one is here. If we are not allowed and something happens, we will be fined to death, you know. No, time is also there. We need to come to the Sunday feast. So we drove the car on that hydraulic thing, and he knew where to press the button. And then I remember then he had the brilliant idea to take a can, you know, like Sprite can or any drink, sparkling drink, a can where you go like zoop, and then you have it. So he somehow prepared that old can in such a way that we could fix this one thing. Where the silencer was, we removed it. It was anyways not silent enough. It was hilariously enough. And then he placed the two pipes together, but hold it by the can and took where's some wire? Wire, okay, we need wire. Then we looked, and wire you find in such garages on the floor. He fixed it. And we drove now as if it was a noiseless Vaikuntha Viman. Really, it was a high technological accomplishment. You have to say it like this, because it was really dysfunctional, 100% dysfunctional. And we arrived, I mean, little later, 15 minutes later, but we made it, and what is 15 minutes in our community? Nothing. So we arrived in time, and and we were in good spirits, and we laughed, and we were humorously sharing so many things. We were enlivened. It also helped us to be more enlivened, this little adventure. And there were many things, but because this was so, let me say, outstanding and so unusual, it is one thing which is etched in the memory. But there were many things. You know, when you're preaching to sometimes we would come back at 12 o'clock in the night, I remember. And then 12 o'clock in the night means either you're in bed or you have hunger. And then we had hunger. And I thought, well, now I'm with an exalted God brother of highly Brahminical qualifications. I better don't say I have hunger. When he sleeps, I secretly go and see what I can find. And then Maharaj says, let us have some German bread. I was just thinking like that. And that is what, you know, when you see a true spiritualist, he has remained a human being also. And we had little, not in excess, little what was necessary. Then we could rest, the butter was down, and many such things. Many such things. You may know, there is this song, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Daya Koromore, please give me your mercy, and at the end, the author says, Ramachandra Sangre Mage Narottam Das. He says, I want to be with my friend Ramachandra, Narottam says. So this friendship is a very important value in Krishna consciousness. It needs to be cultivated, and it develops very naturally in service to one's spiritual master, because then the fundament is there in which a spiritual friendship can grow. So, yes, many things. I remember these Australia, Austria, thank you, Austria tour, where also you had inspired many people to join our path of Krishna consciousness, and you give lectures in these nice, Austrians have these nice culture clubs, and we had lectures. It was a very nice audience, and not only young people, but also elderly people were there. And Maharaj explained things in his very eloquent way and very nice way. And you know, then that was really significant preaching in Prabhupada's movement, and we had to do austerities to do it, to get there. We had to sleep who knows where, at houses of friends, and so on. And this doing service together, even austere services together in the service of the spiritual master, that brings one really together. It makes, you know, like in Krishna book, Krishna meets again after a long time his Gurukul made Sudama, says, do you remember how we got firewood and how the storm came? Oh, yes, I remember. They would reminiscence. What is it? Reminiscing. They would do that. And here we're sitting also, two old men, well above 60 years. Do you remember?
Thank you so much, Maharaj. Lead a kirtan.
Yes, we would love it. But actually the true kirtan singer is you.
No, you are the kirtan leader.
No. Then
Is Sacinandana, you're having kirtan melas all over the world? Who is the originator of kirtan mela? Sacinandana Maharaj.
Gauranga Mahaprabhu, Prabhupada, then Bhakti Charu, Maharaj. And really it is very necessary to see ourselves. But I am best situated as a small brother in need of correction and guidance by my older sympathetic brother. Otherwise I couldn't accept it if there would not be sympathy. And to learn to be a little bit more civilized. I'm learning everything. Okay, so let us...